looking to see if we are live. If it'll pop up here. I'm gonna wait for some of y'all to come on. This is an exciting day. What it do, everybody? Come on in, share this. I am super excited. Yesterday was my birthday for my book, my first book. So we are going to do something really fun and I want you to be a part of it. So come on in. Hey, Aissa. Hey, Aunt Christy. Jason Toole is in the house. What's up, everyone? Hey, Candy. Come on in and press share because we're going to do a virtual book release party. So quarantine may have put a little bit of a damper on things as far as how I wanted to release the book, but luckily we have virtual abilities here. So we are going to do a virtual book release party, which actually gives you guys more people an opportunity to be involved. So hey, Johnny B, what's up? Brent, what's up? Kristen, Catherine, Jennifer, hey girl, miss you. You're such a blessing. If you haven't already, share this because I am fixing to do my very first live reading from my book. I'm going to be talking about all of the nitty-gritty, how the book came about, how I came up with the name. We're going to talk about what it looks like, all of the jazz. So share this, and I am going to read from my book, which is right now available. Right now, it's available. You can get it, you can read it, you can have a paperback book sent to your front door through Amazon. Just super excited. Hey, Chad, what's up? So share this, share this. Really excited, guys. This has been, oh my goodness. It is honestly, I did the whole writing of the book. It was a good year of writing, but with the actual journal entries that I included, this has been a lifetime of writing that has prepared me for this moment. And so I'm just super duper stoked to share it with you guys. Unfiltered. A lot of people have asked me, how did you come up with that name? How did that name become the name of your book that you put on the front of your cover? Look, there it is right there. My husband's really cool. He made me really fun little fancy things here on Switcher. So, and you know, really what it boiled down to was this book is super unique. It's not something that most people would do. I didn't want to just write something fluffy and something sugary coated and religious and, you know, typical. I guess the word's typical. I feel like if I could go back in time to some of the darkest moments in my life where I was walking through hell, I wish that I could have got my hand on a real book that would show me behind the scenes of what it looks like to walk out what the Word of God says you can have. And that is real deep, dark stuff. It's bloody stuff. It's dirty stuff. It's hurtful stuff. It's painful stuff. It's a lot of weight. And I feel like throughout my life, I didn't have the opportunity to talk to people like I wanted to about the real life weight of what it feels like to still grab a hold of the Word of God even when you're walking through junk, even when you're walking through hell. And so God said, you know what? I've called you for this reason, and you're fixing to show people what it's like to walk out the Word of God, but you're going to show them all of the behind the scenes stuff. So if I could sum it up, well, it's unfiltered. It's unfiltered. It's the cover of my book. It's unfiltered. And so this book is not going to be your typical book. It's not going to be your typical read. It's not going to be your typical religious self-help book. It's going to show you all of the stuff. Okay, so hey JD, what's up? What's up Casey, Lauren, Sophie, what's up everybody? So if you haven't shared this already, share it, because I'm fixing to do my very first live reading of Unfiltered. And in case you didn't know, it is available. It's available right now on Kindle. Look, can you even see that? Can you see it? It's on Kindle. So you can go read it right now, guys. We are like super quarantined right now. I don't know how you guys are doing. I hope you're doing good. How are you guys feeling? You know, I had to do the whole homeschool thing this morning with my kids. Didn't really know what to feel about it because my oldest has some math stuff that's not really easy to navigate, but we're quarantined. We're having super quality time in quarantine, and I thought, what a better way to spend this time than to dig into some real life and create some space to deal with some junk that we haven't always had the opportunity to deal with. You know, quarantine, in my opinion, it has a lot of people reflecting on what they're missing out on right now, who they miss. Personally, it has people reflecting on who they are, because when you are isolated and you can't distract yourself with busyness, your mind starts going crazy, guys. Has anybody else's mind started going crazy on the things they wish they could do right now, the things they wish they should have done previously in the past years, or whatever the case may be? And in quietness, your fear and your worries and your doubt and your anxiety and all of the stuff in your mind starts to be awakened. And I thought, you know what? We're going to go live and we're going to celebrate my book. And we're going to do a live reading to kind of help people work out their stuff while they're quarantined, because, I mean, what else do you got to do, right? So let me see who else is jumping on. Sonia, April, what's up, what's up? Mandy, Devin, can we still order directly from you guys instead of Amazon? You can. Okay, so you can get a paperback book on Amazon right now. And it will be delivered to your door in, I think it said 3 to 7 business days, or something like that. So not long, like up to a week, you could have it delivered to your door. You can also get the Kindle version. Now, I will say this, the Kindle version looks totally different than the actual book. The actual book has big quotes in it. It has different fonts for my journal entries and all of that stuff. But it gives you the ability to read it right this second. So you can get it on Kindle. And if you want to go to our website, it's www.brandonandalissa.life/store. And if you get it that way, then I will actually get to sign it and send it to you. So you'll get a autographed copy of the book through our website. So I would love for you to do that. And yeah, so I'm really, really excited. I wanted to share with you guys kind of what this book looks like. And then I want to get you kind of interactive with me, because I want you to choose what you want to hear today. So the book Unfiltered, it's called Unfiltered: Walking Through Dirt While Embracing Your Destiny. And you know, it's really funny to me, because if you would have told me years ago that I would have wrote a book, let alone share my journal entries in a book, inside of a book, like some of my most personable journal entries, walking through hell, I would have told you you're crazy, and that is never going to happen, because I would have never thought I would share my personal deepest thoughts in a book for the world to see. But God had different plans, and he said, you know what, you've been journaling since you were 14 and you didn't even know it, but you've been doing it because I'm fixing to release a series of books out of you. And I can specifically remember at 8 years old, like I fought with dyslexia most of my life. I hated reading out loud at school. I don't know if y'all were like that, but I hated it. It was like super intimidating to me because I couldn't get the words out right. I went to tutoring after classes to learn how to write because I always would get my letters mixed up. And then I remember as an adult, I got a word in a church service that books and songs were going to be released out of me that would go around the world. And I knew the songs thing. I can spit a song out. I can write a song like that. That was within my comfort zone. But to tell me a book is going to come out of me, I literally had people in my life that were close to me tell me that the prophet missed it and that I probably wouldn't release any books. And so I just want to encourage you guys, because yesterday I released my first book. And if you have something that you have felt like you can never do, and you don't have the ability, you don't have the talent, you don't have the gift, listen, if God has called you for it, he will equip you for it. He is going to help you with it. He is going to allow you to see it happen in your life, and stop listening to the lies of people who try to tell you what you're capable of. And allow the Holy Spirit and the Word of God and the destiny that you were created for to rise up in you and allow you to do the things that you were called for. So I did it. I wrote a book. And so the book has two parts. The first part is called Walking Through Dirt. Part 1, Walking Through Dirt. And part 2 is Embracing Your Destiny. So the first part, Walking Through Dirt, it is all about working through your pain, okay? So the first part's more about trauma and issues and chaos and hurt and wounds that you've had to go through. So part 1 is Walking Through Dirt, and these are the chapters, okay, you ready? Promise is chapter 1. Chapter 2 is Dig, talking about how to dig into the dirt of your life and why that is important. Chapter 3 is Dirt, what is valuable about your dirt and why it is important to not cover it up. Chapter 4 is called Trust. You know, a lot of people have issues with trust. A lot of people have issues with not even just trusting people, but trusting God. Now, that was my problem, okay? I had been so jacked up by people that I couldn't even trust God. And that's a big deal. Chapter 5 is Build, how to build from the broken pieces of your life. Chapter 6 is Pieces, and it talks about how to truly, you know, look at the pieces of your life and confront them, and how to sort through that, because there are so many people in life. I was there, and that's what I talk about, is how there were lots of pieces in my life that I didn't want to confront and I didn't know how to navigate through, and so I help you get through that. Chapter 7 is Breaking Pattern, how to recognize the breaking patterns, and I give you several breaking patterns, how to recognize them in your life, how to keep them from happening, how to combat that. Chapter 8 is Feel. You know, part of faith is feeling, and I was taught my whole life the Word of Faith movement. I graduated from Rhema Bible Training Center. My parents were Word of Faith people. And we were taught, you know, big in that movement not to feel. And that we're not moved by what we see or feel, that we're moved only by the Word of God. And that is so true. But what do we do with our feelings then? How do we navigate through our feelings then? I talk about that in that chapter. Chapter 9 is Create. And I talk about how to create with the brokenness, how to create. Yay, Devin, I'm so happy you ordered yours. Cannot wait to send yours to you, Kristen. Hey, Terry, what's up? So that's all part 1, okay? So those are part 1. Part 2 is about embracing your destiny. So this is about embracing the promise. So the first part is all about the pain, how to navigate through that. The second part is how to embrace your promise and your destiny. And these are the chapters. Chapter 10 is Pause. What does the pause look like? Why is the pause in your life relevant? Chapter 11 is called The Middle Seat. Quick little timeout. My husband is the one that inspired The Middle Seat. And I was actually complaining about the middle seat on an airplane ride that we had to go on. And he literally said in the car, well, write a book called The Middle Seat and find some inspiration, not knowing that day on the airplane, I wrote a chapter called The Middle Seat. So I talk about the perspective of the seat of promise, the seat of pain, and the seat that's in the middle of it all, and how we can navigate through that. Chapter 12 is Unfiltered. We had to have a chapter that was called Unfiltered because the book's unfiltered, and it is how to strip away the filters, why that is necessary, all of the stuff. Candy was telling me yesterday she's already read the whole book, and she said that the middle seat was her favorite chapter. So super excited. And chapter 13 is called Grace. I think it's really important to know grace for yourself. And this is something that I truly just came into in the last 3 years of my lifetime, was grace. And so I talk about that. Chapter 14 is called You, and that's all about how you can overcome by being unfiltered. Chapter 15 is DNA. It talks about your destiny, name, and authority. DNA. How you need your destiny, name, and authority. And then, of course, I end it with a bonus letter to you guys and some final words. And so I want to ask you guys that are on here, what do you want me to read? If you heard a chapter that sounded exciting, type it in the comments below, because I'm not going to pick what I read. I'm going to let y'all pick it. So go ahead and just kind of start typing out what you think you want to hear, and I'll read a little bit of that. I'm going to let y'all pick it, and I'm going to be coming on here several times over the next couple weeks, and we'll do live readings so you guys can hear little tidbits of it. So if you heard something, somebody heard something, you can type it below. So Peyton, what's up? Here's the deal. Coronavirus. That's the deal. Coronavirus. So I have not even received my physical copy yet, and I'm the author. So we are in the middle of waiting for the shipment to actually hit my doorstep. As soon as that happens, I'm going to be sending it out to you guys. I cannot wait to do that. I cannot wait to sign them and pray over them and send them your way. In the meantime, that is why we went ahead and we released the ebook and we released the paperback on Amazon, because if you are going to order that way, then you get the book faster, unfortunately, because I had to order almost 200 books in bulk because I had so many pre-orders that it's taking longer to get to me. That being said, all of you people out there, okay, everybody who has pre-ordered and has not received your book yet, and I wanted to get you your books first, but COVID-19 delayed that massively. I am going to send you guys a free gift. So your free gift, the book obviously is filled with journal entries that are 100% unfiltered of mine. I am releasing an actual journal, a workbook journal to go with Unfiltered this year. It's probably going to be the end of summer before it comes out. It was actually initially going to be included with the book, but the book ended up being too long. So I took it all out, and we're going to sell the actual workbook journal that has detailed questions to go with each chapter to help you work through your dirt and embrace your destiny. And I am going to send everybody who pre-ordered the book the PDF download file so that you can have the journal before anybody else gets it the end of the summer as a free gift for your waiting and your just amazingness in helping me get this book out by pre-ordering it and supporting me. So I will be sending you guys a free gift. I'm so sorry for the delay. Let's see here. The middle seat, unfiltered. Okay. It looks like lots of people are wanting to hear the middle seat. So I am going to read a little bit of the middle seat, but before I do that, I'm just going to read the introduction real quick, if that's cool. So if you haven't already, share this and help me get it out there. Yay, my book is out. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, Kamisha, girl, I miss you. I so miss you. She was with me when I was walking through the grid of life. She was there in town with me when I preached my first sermon after my ex-husband walked out. And she sat in that service bawling her eyes out. She saw Brandon come into my life. I miss you, girl. I'm so happy you're on here. So, okay, let's dig into this. I'm going to read my introduction. Okay, guys? Okay, this is unfiltered introduction. What it do, all my crew? Here it is, the opening letter of my book. The part where I encourage you to read my pages. The part where I craft my heart, thoughts, intents, and desires in such a way that I hope it moves you to hashtag this book as your next current read on Instagram stories. What I write next will be a defining moment that determines whether this book is for you, and it will leave you to decide whether you read on or reach for another book. If I'm being honest, I feel as though I'm getting on a roller coaster ride butt naked and asking you to join me. We're standing in line waiting for the thrill of our life, but first, ladies and gentlemen, keep your hands and feet inside the ride, remain seated at all times, and please, for the love of coffee, remove your glasses because this will unfilter every lie that ever tried to keep you from living your best life. Are you ready? Here we go. This book is a collection of confessions I never felt able to share within the church. It's filled with my personal journal entries that were written during the darkest seasons of my life, and it contains one truth that will continually change everything you believe about where you're going and how you will get there. What is that truth exactly? It's as close as your reflection in the mirror. Friend, the truth is that you and only you are the answer to healing, restoration, and promise for your life. The stories filling these pages are from the pain behind rape, divorce, self-hate, illness, mental struggles, infertility, loss, and more. They're told from the far too convincing lie that God is a punisher of sins and promise can't be ours until all the pieces are put back in place. These stories unlock the truth behind what it looks like to walk through dirt while embracing destiny. And they unfilter the process behind the steps you must take to possess your promise. I get messages from people all over the world, and the most asked question that I receive when tragedy hits someone's life is, how do I move on when I don't understand why this happened? How many of you have asked that question in life? I've asked that question so many times. Yay, Kamisha, I will send you the link. Please hear me on this. You may not understand, but you'll never be able to move forward unless you embrace the life that's yours and stop denying the dirt. Denial doesn't build destiny. Owning your dirt does. Let me ask you this. How can you possess the promise when you refuse to address the lies that are stealing your identity? You can never own your future until you start owning your now. Our number one problem as humans rests in our ability to accept the lies that tell us we are less than what we've been created to be. We see our life through the lens that is filtered through pain, rejection, abandonment, failure, flaws, and doctrine, and it leaves us with a distorted view of who we are. When I found myself walking through divorce after nearly 10 years of marriage, 2 baby girls, and a lifetime of full ministry, I scrambled to cover up any sign of dirt that threatened to mark me as dirty. With a pile of broken memories and a future filtered with pain, I reached an opportunity to learn what it meant to be positioned toward promise as I allowed God to rebuild the pieces of my life. As I'm writing you this letter, I'm sitting at my kitchen table, elbow deep in journals, reading over the pages of my life. The screensaver on my iPhone shows a picture of my husband and me celebrating 1 year of marriage this past April. We're going on 2 this April, whoop whoop. And a sticky note on my computer says that I only have 12 days left before I embrace the new decade of 30, flirty, and thriving. I have coffee by my side, Demi Lovato's Sorry Not Sorry blaring in my ears, and I don't think there's any more perfect scenario than this moment for me to share my heart with you. This song formed the mantra of my life over the past 2 years, paired with Elevation's Do It Again. Although the playlist may not be what some consider typical and probably won't get a solid stamp of approval by many, the fact remains that it's the one that got me through hell by reaffirming two truths to my heart time and time again. The first truth, his promise still stands no matter what I'm facing, and I can remain confident that his faithfulness is greater than my faults. The second truth, I am the baddest savage you will ever meet, and I'm sorry, but not sorry, that the fire inspired me to turn the table by taking my life back. I'm at a much different place right now. Love has found its way back into my life. Restoration has been found. Ministry is growing, and healing has taken place in my heart. All because I remembered who I was, dirt and all, and changed the game. The process has not been easy, but the evidence is enough for me to confidently say that owning my now prepared me for my tomorrow. I'm done apologizing for the dirt in my life, y'all, and I'm done believing that promise is not mine. I made a vow to myself long before a promise of restoration or healing ever took place in my life to not allow any bit of pain to go to waste. I promised myself that I would make it my life's goal to show every person possible what it means to embrace life unfiltered and to walk in the freedom of who I truly am and who they can truly be. I told myself that every shattered piece would bring me purpose and every bit of loss would launch me into my place called there. So if you're looking for truth, then here it is. Your promise is not waiting for the best version of yourself to arrive. Your destiny is available for you right now and right here. The truth is, you decide whether your dirt will disable you or empower you to own your life once more. The truth is, you can blame others for the filth that marked you, but you will leave yourself shackled to the broken pieces. The truth is, brokenness can become the crutch that disables you from living a life of freedom, or it can become the thing that deploys you into your destiny. The truth is, the thing you experienced is not the source behind what's holding you back. Somebody needs to hear that right now. The truth is, the thing that you experienced, it is not the source behind what is holding you back. You had destiny written in your dirt long before you ever had a chance to be labeled clean. You hold the shovel of purpose in your hands, friend, and you are the answer to your life. Are you willing to dig through the dirt by walking out your journey and embracing what God has for you? I saw a quote on Pinterest right after my divorce finalized. It said this: what if everything you're going through is preparing you for everything you've ever prayed for? I don't know where you're at in life right now, but I do know you'll never move forward unless you're willing to unfilter the lies behind the dirt you're holding on to. Stop giving other people credit for destroying your future and start sorting through the wreckage with the Father. You can make a bed out of the shattered pieces of your life by choosing to live in brokenness, but that's not God's plan for you. You have to take responsibility for your future. You have to allow those pieces to become your tools for rebuilding and the foundation to build from. This book is covered in dirt and shows the mark of destiny written within its pages. From personal loss, pain, and tragedy, I want to invite you to read of how the process of restoration and healing took place in my life while I walked down a dirty road and embraced my destiny. Here's the deal. I don't know where you're at or how you got here, but I do know that you can choose where you're going. I don't know whose fault it was or how it happened, but I do know that you can live beyond the memory of yesterday by owning your tomorrow. I don't know who lied to you about what you're capable of, but I do know that you hold the power to shape the truth of who you are. I don't know what's been holding you back, but I do know that you're the answer to moving forward. You are not dirty. You are destined. The question is, how long will you sit in the wreckage before you decide that it's time to build with the pieces? It's not enough for someone else to believe in you. It's time for you to start believing in yourself. You're the answer to every promise, every dream, every call, and the destiny on your life. Stop waiting for some greater power to fix your pieces and start recognizing that Jesus can't touch what you don't allow him to. Don't forget to share this as your current read. Small victories in the journey of walking down whatever dirt-filled road you're on by joining the Unfiltered Dirt hashtag movement on social media. Whether it's a picture of you smiling for the first time in months or a snapshot of what it looks like for you to silence the lies and conquer your fears, let us celebrate with you by joining a community that embraces our dirt and revels in our ability to walk unfiltered and unapologetic. So let's do this. Go join the hashtag and let's show each other all the ways we're walking in our destiny, dirt and all. Are you ready for more? Let me reach through these pages and take you by the hand as we walk down this road together and embrace a life of destiny unfiltered. With all my love for coffee, Alissa. So that is the introduction. I am so excited to share more with you guys. Let's see. I'm wanting to stay here and stay connected here and communicate with you guys. So, okay, you guys said you wanted to hear a little bit of the chapter, The Middle Seat.
Share the hashtag again.
The hashtag is Unfiltered Dirt. Unfiltered Dirt. You struggle with reading on phone or iPad. Always lose my place and reread the same lines twice. Well, listen, girl, as soon as this COVID-19 stuff stops, I'm getting in a studio and I'm going to be recording the audiobook. So you will be able to actually listen to me read the book to you. And that was something that was supposed to get done, but with all of the travel bans and all of the things that have happened, I was not able to release it with the book. So just keep your eyes peeled. I will be having that out there. You guys share this. Share this one more time if you haven't already. Share it. I'm fixing to jump into the middle seat. Woo! Kamisha! Yay! I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh my goodness. Okay. You guys picked a really deep one. A really deep one to start on. You ready? You ready? Okay. Here we go. My heart's a little bit pounding reading this stuff out loud. Okay, so every chapter starts out with a journal entry. And these are deep, these are real, these are raw, these are 100% not edited, unfiltered, just like the title, because that's how the Lord told me to do it. So, are you guys ready to hear this? Unfiltered. Chapter 11, The Middle Seat. Journal entry, August 31st, 2017. Hello. I'm sitting here going through my calendar and watching Kins do her homeschool work. And I've suddenly realized that we only have 4 months left to the year. 4 months. I immediately thought, so much for this year being a year of completion. So much for my dreams coming true. With 4 months left, there isn't enough time to see anything powerful take place and any projects for ministry happen. But right as I thought that, something crossed my mind. I heard the Holy Spirit ask me, how many months did it take for your entire life to fall apart? I quickly checked the calendar and did the math. 2 months fighting for my marriage and 2 months finalizing our divorce. So the answer is 4. It only took 4 months for a lifetime to crumble into 1,000 pieces. That's when a light bulb clicked inside me and I heard the Father say, I can redeem the time stolen. 4 months ago, 4 months gone and 4 months gained. Doors of opportunity, completion, and restoration are coming to your life. How will you steward this thing? Do you trust me? I didn't write about it yet. I don't know why, but the divorce is final and officially over. I thought I'd be a mess when I received the call from my lawyer about the court date. But the truth is, I didn't feel a thing. I was numb when I heard the voice on the other end of the line. Alissa, we did it. We're getting you this divorce 3 days before your 10th anniversary takes place. See you at court, 9 a.m. and bring you a witness. At that moment, I sat down and began to play songs that I had written throughout the nightmare. My sister was there, and I needed to feel something more than the numbing truth that this was over, so I sang to her. When divorce day arrived, I took my daddy to court with me. He has walked with me through the hell of this entire process and kept me from burning up. There were so many nights when I was scared to be alone at the house with my kids, and it was my daddy who came to sleep on the couch to keep us safe. When I needed someone to cry, scream, cuss, and vent to, he was the one who listened. When I couldn't see any hope for the future, he encouraged me to stand in faith. My daddy spoke truth over me without suffocating me with scripture, while allowing me to walk my process out. In doing so, he watched me heal over time, and he healed with me. So I couldn't think of anyone I wanted to be by my side more than him when my divorce day finally approached. My ex-husband wasn't there. There was no need. It was a non-contested case, and all I wanted more than anything was to get it over with. My lawyer began to state my case to the judge, and everything fell into slow motion. An entire life of memories flashed before my eyes. Date night, our wedding, college life, recording music, having babies, doing ministry. It all surged in like a flood. But then the memories screeched to a halt when the judge asked me if I wanted to change my name back to my maiden name, to which I said yes. After all was said and done, the judge sealed the moment with the crash of his gavel, and I felt numbness shatter around me as the waves of emotion began to rush in. For weeks I had prayed while preparing a final goodbye letter to the man I called husband for nearly a decade. It was full of one thank you after another as I listed out everything I was grateful to him for. Thank you for our girls. They're holding me down and loving my heart back to health. Thank you for teaching me how valuable a whole and complete family is. I will never take it for granted again. Thank you for pushing me out of my comfort zone, because without you leaving, I would have never found out how strong I truly am. Thank you for showing me that I don't need anyone else in order to pursue my dreams. I am enough on my own. Thank you for breaking me, because now I'm able to put the pieces back together differently. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to conquer my fears. I learned to look them in the face and laugh without fear of the future. Thank you for not seeing me. I've learned to see myself, and now I know just how beautiful I truly am. Thank you for showing me what love isn't, because it'll remind me to steward love and grace and to take and remember that love is not an emotion, it's an everyday choice. Thank you for these 10 years. I've learned a lot, grown a lot, and emerged into the woman I never thought I could be. I truly couldn't have done it without you. It hurts to let go, but I know there's men out there who will treat me like his treasure and not his trash. I ended it with this, and I meant it with all my heart. Goodbye to my husband. I love you, I forgive you, and I wish you the best in life. Be better and strive hard for good things in life. Open up to people and let your wall down. Allow God to be real in your life, and seek the company of those who will help you be the best version of you. Use your talents for God, and he will bless them. But more than anything, show your kids what love is by being the first man to love them and not break their heart. They're the most important things in your life. Do good by them, show them God and your leadership and love towards them, but please remember that what you are to them is what they'll look for in a man when they grow up and fall in love. There's happiness out there for you, now go find it. Here's to nearly 10 years and not counting. You've loved me, you've broken me, but I will rise from the ashes a new woman. It will be better. I will be better for it. I already am, and I will never be the same. Alissa. Whew. Okay, see you guys, I just want to take a time out real quick. This book is real and raw and unfiltered. And this is all of the things that the Lord had me include. You know, there were so many things as I prayed over this book. I thought, you know, am I going to share this? Am I going to share that? But the more I interceded and prayed, the more God said yes. There are people out there that need to see the darkness of these kind of things. There are people out there that need to see things not sugar-coated and fluffed up with scripture and fluffed up with a church-filtered fake mask of joy. And they need to see what it truly looks like to go through hell and still embrace what it is that God has for them. And so this gives you a little bit of insight on how real this book is, the journal entries that I include and the things that I let you in on. And so let's keep going. As soon as I arrived back in town from the courthouse, I took my letter and the hoodie he'd given me all those years ago, I talk about it in a previous chapter, and left it behind in his screen door, sealed with a kiss. I promised myself from that moment forward I'd be a new woman, and the future was mine to own. Later on, I did a second part to the journal entry. It says PM because it's nighttime now. Before I go to sleep, I want to record a funny thing that happened today. After feeling in my spirit that I have 4 months gained after 4 months lost, Brandon Holt messaged me on Facebook. He let me know that he's sorry to hear about the divorce, and he said he's praying for the girls and me. He said to let him know if I need anything and mentioned that he wants to hear my music. I don't know why, but I feel like this is the beginning of something amazing. I have no doubt that God is in this thing and working in my favor. I'm going to keep moving forward. Alissa. So what's funny is when he messaged me, we were truly just friends. We never really engaged in actual conversation other than we followed each other's ministries. And so this was the first time he actually reached out to me. And it's really funny because this chapter, guys, in case you're just popping on, I did not choose to read this chapter. You guys chose. I listed all the chapters and you guys said you wanted to hear this. So there's that journal entry and then it flows right into the chapter. So that's how every chapter of the book is done. Journal entry and then it flows into the chapter. So chapter 11, the middle seat. I'm going to read just a little bit. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says if you've never been on an airplane before, this is a chapter, the middle seat. If you've never been on an airplane before, let me go ahead and let you in on a little secret. Your seat matters. Without fail, the first question I ask my bae every time we head to the airport is, what seat do I have on this flight? Please tell me it's not the middle seat. It pains me to say this, but it's your girl who ends up inheriting this dreaded seat most of the time. And if you've ever been on a plane or the victim of the middle seat or somewhere, then you know exactly what I'm talking about and why this is the seat that must be filled even though nobody wants it. This special seat leaves you squished in between two strangers and feeling like it's your responsibility to become as small as you possibly can so you won't invade their personal space even though you have none of your own. When you're assigned to the middle seat, you're left secretly interceding for the well-being of your nostrils. Please, God, don't let me get stuck between two people with horrible body odor, unforgivable bad breath, or gassy stomachs, because secretly rubbing travel-size perfume on your wrist and smelling it the whole flight is not funny. Ask me how I know. This dreaded seat will have you walking down the aisle of the plane like an undercover spy, secretly scanning every person around your row to see if they look like they're talkers, and you'll be double checking your ticket to see how long it'll take for you to get out of that cramped space and back into open, fresh air. My point? No one likes the middle seat, especially me. On our way to the airport this morning, my husband turned to me and said, "Babe, don't even ask if you're going to get the middle seat. The answer is yes." Immediately, I was dreading the entire trip, and my face made sure to notify Bran of my feelings. Here's the truth. The middle seat makes me uncomfortable, and unless my husband wants a cuddle partner the entire flight, like he's got a choice, right? I'll be thinking skinny the whole way there so I don't disturb the people beside me. But with some banter back and forth, he playfully said, "You know what? Write a book about it. Call it The Middle Seat. Find some wisdom in how you can make this more enjoyable." Well, it may not be an entire book, but here you go, Bran. A chapter completely dedicated to you and your inspiration. So I had been rewarded with the middle seat. Bae willingly accepted the aisle seat beside me, and with all the interceding I'd done from the time then till now, I honestly had high hopes for the person sitting on the other side of me. But what happened next was glorious. Ladies and gents, I'm pleased to tell you that the window seat person never showed up. Do you know what that means? The middle seat is empty because I upgraded to the window seat, where I'm currently sitting as I write this chapter. I repeat, the middle seat is empty and we have more room to ourselves. Let me tell you, basking in this glorious window seat view and enjoying my extra space has shown me how this can represent the seat of promise in your life. It holds a view that no one else gets to see, which allows you to enjoy the journey from a much different perspective than the passengers around you. With a new outlook on your life, you're given the opportunity to look outside of your current situation and find beauty. The aisle seat is quite the opposite. It can represent the seat of pain in your life. I'm reminded of this because I just saw the flight attendant crash her snack cart into my husband's knee and shove him over as she continued down the aisle. Guys, true story. True story. Okay. The seat has a view that consists of nothing more than what's directly in front of you. It leaves you looking over your shoulder to make sure no one else will hurt you as they pass by. And the middle seat can represent the in-between stage of your journey. It's a place where you aren't necessarily guarding yourself from pain, but you adopt the mindset that it's your job to become as small as possible so that you don't disrupt your seat neighbors. It comes with a partial view of both pain and promise and leaves you to focus on the dear soul sitting right in front of you. How many times do we find ourselves in between pain and promise? Have you ever been there? Are you there right now? I've come to recognize that my focus in that position zeroes in on three things. 1, the pain I don't want to feel anymore. 2, the promise I can't seem to get a hold of. And 3, all the people who seem to be ahead of me. All 3 seats are on the same journey, the same flight, and are headed toward the same destination, yet we fix our attention on the seat rather than the direction that we're headed. Friend, if you aren't careful and get so caught up on the position of your seat, you'll forget that the posture of the plane is taking us all to the same place. Sometimes you need to change your perspective in order to embrace your purpose. We all have destiny waiting for us to arrive. The question is, what seat will you live in? And I'm going to stop right there. I go into all of these seats and I begin to kind of break it down and share with you a little bit about each one of them and how to embrace it and how to navigate through it all. I'm looking through here real quick. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Hey, everybody that has jumped in. So I hope that this has blessed you. I have shared the introduction. I've shared a little bit of chapter 11, the middle seat, with you. And I'm just really excited, guys. This gives you kind of a little bit of an idea of what this book looks like, how it's laid out, what it feels like, what it sounds like. It's unfiltered. It's real. It's raw. Guys, if you are super religious, this is not your book. I have colorful language. I talk about real life things. I talk about addiction. I talk about alcohol. I talk about having to numb my pain with substance and you know, finding relationships in my life to help me navigate through issues, you know. But I just want to encourage you before I get off of here today. I first of all want to say thank you for celebrating my book and joining me on this live and hearing about it. I hope that you'll share it. I hope that you'll go get you a copy. It's available right now in Amazon, and it's available on our website if you want a signed copy, and it's available on Kindle. You can read it right this second. But I just want to encourage you guys before I get off. You know, quarantine is a great opportunity for you to navigate through your dirt. It's a great opportunity for you to stop making excuses for your life. It's a great opportunity for you to start doing something that you never thought you could do. Listen, I never thought in 1,000 years that I could write a book. I never thought I would release a book. People even told me that I would never do it. And, you know, if there is that one thing that you feel like the Lord has placed on your heart, or you feel like you have purpose, or you feel like you have something to say, this is a great time for you to take a step forward and do something you never thought you could do. Start writing that book that you never thought you could write. Start writing those songs that you never thought you could write. Start sitting down at whatever instrument, if you have one in your house that you wanted to play better, but you never sat down and practiced enough, and start practicing it. Start doing something that you feel that you've never had the opportunity to truly try out. This is a great time for you to do it. Stop making excuses for yourself. You know, one of the biggest things about this, you're welcome, Catherine. One of the biggest things about this book is that I want to help people recognize that their dirt doesn't disqualify them. I want them to understand that you have destiny written in your dirt long before you ever had a chance to be clean. But the trick is realizing 3 different things. 3 different things, okay? And I want to encourage you with these 3 things. 3 things that you have to recognize in order to know that destiny is written in your dirt. The first thing is that Jesus cannot touch what you don't allow him to touch. And that's not something that most pastors are going to get up on the stage and say. That's not most people that are on podcasts and are sharing religion and are doing all of these live feeds. They're not going to get here and say, Jesus won't touch what you don't allow him to. But I want you to understand that from the very beginning of time, from the garden, God gave us a choice. He gave us a choice. And he's not going to touch an area of your heart and help you fix an area of your emotions and your life spiritually or physically or whatever it is unless you allow him to. And so you have the choice to allow him to deal with those things in your life as you navigate through those things, or you have the choice to completely shut it off and shove it under the rug and cover it up and keep people out. That's your choice. But Jesus cannot touch what you don't allow him to. It's impossible because he's a gentleman and he gives you the choice to say yes or no. And so you've got to make that decision. The second thing that you have to realize in order for you to know that your dirt doesn't disqualify you, that it's actually destined, is you have to realize that you cannot move forward unless you take a step. You can't move forward from where you are right now unless you take a step. Nobody else can take the step for you. No one else is going to, be able to get you where you need to go. You have to take the step on your own. Listen, guys, I cannot make you seek therapy and counsel for your marriage that is falling apart. I cannot make you find somebody to help you stay accountable to your porn addiction. I cannot make you go to somebody who has overcome alcoholism or substance abuse and help you navigate through that season. You have to be the one that takes a step forward. You have to be the one that makes the decision that, hey, God is not going to be able to help me unless I help myself, and I have got to take the first step so that God can help me navigate through this situation and through this area. And I just want to say to somebody right now, he is not looking for perfection. He's looking for progress. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for progress. He's looking for you to be present and to just say yes to the fact that you're willing to move forward. You're willing to just barely pick your foot up and move it forward. That's all he needs is a yes. Stop scrolling that person's Facebook page that is constantly hurting you and you know what? Unfriend them and block them. It was the biggest thing for me with some relationships as I navigated through these hard times in my life was I'm not going to be able to get myself right in my mind as long as I am scrolling these people's pages. I am not going to be able to get my emotions right as long as I am searching certain people's Facebook pages and Instagrams. I had to completely take the step to eliminate that from my life by pushing block and moving forward with my life. And you can't move forward unless you take a step. Whatever area that is, take a step forward. Move forward. And the third thing that you have to recognize in order for you to know that your dirt has destiny in it is that your tragedy, listen, I want somebody to hear me for real, because this is a big deal. This is a big deal that holds people back for decades of their life. And I talk about this in the book. I was raped at 14 years old. I carried that around with me. And for over a decade of my life, I carried around this mentality that I still struggle with today, if I want to be 100% unfiltered right now, that told me I am not enough. I am not valuable enough. I am not lovable enough. I am not good enough. I am not pretty enough. I am not talented enough. I am not enough. I am just a victim. And everybody that comes in my life is going to hurt me. And for over a decade of my life, I carried that around. And I need to let somebody know today that your tragedy is not what's holding you back. Your tragedy isn't what's holding you back. Your thoughts about that issue is what's holding you back. It's not your tragedy, it's your thoughts that are holding you back. Because you are making a choice to believe what it is that tragedy has lied to you about, and it is keeping you bound to whatever it is that has hurt you. It's not the tragedy that's holding you back. It's your choice to believe what the tragedy has tried to tell you. That's what's holding you back. And in Matthew, it clearly says that you become what you believe. And as long as you believe the lie, as long as you take in the lie, as long as you completely repeat the lie and press repeat and press replay and all of these things on the tragedy, and begin to allow it to speak to you and dictate to you and tell you what it is and who it is you are, the more you are going to believe that thing and the more you are going to become that thing. Your choice to believe the thoughts that that tragedy has spoken into your life about you is what is holding you back, not the tragedy itself. See, God can take a tragedy and he can turn it around and use it for ministry. But the problem is that most times we allow that tragedy to dictate to us who we are. And that very thing that can propel us into our ministry, we allow to chain us down and to bind us down and to keep us from doing the thing that we're destined to do because we feel like we're dirty because we had to go through that moment of our life. But you had destiny written in your dirt long before you ever had a chance to be clean. Long before you ever had a chance to make a fault or a failure or ever had an issue in your life, ever had one day on this earth, you still had destiny written in your dirt because God saw all of the things that were going to take place in your life before you ever had a chance to even live one of those days out. So it's not your tragedy that disqualifies you. Your dirt actually predestined you from the very beginning of time when he created us with dirt. So I just want to encourage you today to know that you have an opportunity right now to truly grab a hold of quarantine life and do something with your purpose and your destiny that you haven't had the opportunity to do yet. Something that maybe you've wanted to learn, something maybe you've wanted to do. Maybe you've wanted to go live and speak to people about something that's been on your heart, but you've been so scared to do it. Do it. Get on live, share with people what you feel, what God's speaking to you. Write your book. Write a song, learn an instrument, learn how to bake something. I've seen all kinds of people on Facebook. They're literally learning how to bake bread and make homemade tortillas, and they're painting more with their family and doing things, like seize the day, like use this opportunity to do something that is going to bring joy to your life, because there's so much right now that is allowing us to stay depressed and down and have anxiety and worry and fear, and you can absolutely control that. So I want to sign off here. I want you to know that your dirt, you can allow the dirt in your life to become the definition of your story, or you can allow it to become the destiny of your life with purpose. And I would just be so excited if you went and got my book, Unfiltered, Walking Through Dirt While Embracing Your Destiny. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to know more about it, watch the replay if you just jumped on. If you want to hear more of these kind of talks, comment below. Please let me know. Share this. And I will be jumping on here more often with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that this is something that blessed you guys and you got something out of it, and it allowed you to have a little bit of a better day, hopefully. So read the book. Go get it. If you do get the book, take a selfie, something, and do the hashtag Unfiltered Dirt. Join the hashtag movement. Show us what you're up to during the quarantine. And I love you guys. Be blessed, and I will talk to you guys soon.